Momma Cuisine is about making great everyday meals with simple ingredients and basic cooking techniques, and I want to show you how. Now tell me that this doesn't look like a meal you would find in a restaurant. This show also highlights restaurants, foodies, artisans, and events to help me in my quest in making great everyday meals. So come join me. I'm Johanna Cook of Momma Cuisine. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of Momma Cuisine. I am Johanna Cook. This week I'm going to make a really great recipe, a little bit fancier than usual, orange glazed salmon. It's quite simple. It sounds a little bit technical, but it's actually not. We're going to use a jar of orange marmalade, a little bit of white wine, salt, pepper, and red pepper flakes. And that's it. That's all the glaze is all about. So we might as well get started so I could show you how. I have 4 beautiful salmon steaks right now. And it's going to be very simply done with salt and pepper. That's all the seasoning that we're going to put on it. When you have fresh salmon, there's really not much you need to do. I actually prefer just tasting the salmon itself, so I don't really like to put a lot of ingredients on it. But we are going to glaze it with a little bit of orange sauce, orange glaze, just using. And it's so simple, whether you're making it for your family at home or for some friends when they're coming over. It's something totally doable any day of the week. So we have here a pan that's heated up. What you want to do is we're going to take our salmon fillets and put it in the pan seasoned side down. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see here, make sure that's hot enough. I think we're good. Seasoned side down. And don't touch the fish. The key to cooking fish is making sure your pan is hot enough, yet resisting the urge to poke it around and try and flip it around. So we're gonna leave it this side down for about 2 minutes at very high heat, so that way it'll sear and have a really nice crust. So not letting it break apart is resisting the urge to poke it around and try and flip it around before it's ready. What you want to do right now, it's a very high heat. The fish, the salmon that we have is a little bit thick. We're going to leave it cooking. I'm not going to touch it at all for about 2.5 minutes, and then I will check it out and flip it over. So now that our salmon fillets are nice and golden brown, I've set them aside. We're going to work on the orange glaze. Again, like I said, it's so simple. What we're going to do is just turn this on. We're not going to wait for it to get hot, okay? As soon as we turn it on, we're going to go ahead and put the whole jar of marmalade, 12 ounces of marmalade, right in the pan. It seems like a lot, but for all that salmon, you want it to be covered in the glaze. And what I love about the marmalade is that it has the rinds. You could see it in there. And already you'll see the heat will start to melt that. We're going to add half a teaspoon of salt, pinch of black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and a splash of white wine. It was about 2 tablespoons. We're just going to work that in, warm it through, make sure those flavors all get together, taste it, and that is the glaze. So simple. So take a look at this meal. What I did for the sides is just very simply wilted some spinach over some olive oil, a little bit of garlic, salt, and pepper, and I got your box rice pilaf. I just added scallions, and I only use half of the package because I find it very salty. I just used the instructions how to make the rice, added scallions, and just half of the package, and that way it's not salty, it's still really good, and you have yourself a complete meal. And we have our salmon here that we browned earlier, that we seared, and now we have our orange glaze, and what I'm going to do is just pour a little of that on top. Not too much, so you don't want it overpowering, but just enough to cover your salmon fillet. and give it that yummy, sweet orange flavor. And there you go, an elegant dinner for you and your family or your friends any day of the week. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Momma Cuisine. If you want any more recipes, please log on to mommacuisine.com and please subscribe to this channel. Thank you. I'll see you next week.